that maybe an accident happened or something, like these feelings of okay, well, you were not able to be in control of something that happened, because there's already an underlying issue that's like making you to like express that intense emotional feeling, so that we can be able to manage them and not like have these feelings of insecurity because of our emotional triggers. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your favorite girl again, Iyoko Fortune, and if you are newly joining us, hi, welcome on board. In this family I share helpful tips to help women grow in their faith and in their career. And if you're an OG, thank you so much for staying with me. Thank you for supporting me all this while. I do not take it for granted. So in this video, we're talking about identifying and managing emotional triggers. Let's get started. Emotional triggers are anything that can cause an intense emotional reaction despite our current mood. And then we have some common types of emotional triggers, or things that can cause emotional triggers. We have the feelings of betrayal, helplessness, or loss of control, feelings of rejection, maybe when there's a loss or a grief of a loved one, and sometimes trauma experiences, sometimes being excluded, or even unjust treatment. These are common situations that can trigger an intense emotional reaction within us. So now that we've already identified what these emotional triggers are, how can we manage these emotional triggers? Number one thing is that there's a trigger, because sometimes, that's why I said despite of current mood, because sometimes you're feeling some things and it's not even because of what is happening, because there's already an underlying issue that's like making you to like express that intense emotional feeling, emotional reaction. Sometimes it can be a sudden outburst, sometimes it can be just tears, sometimes it can be just like overly happy. And overly happy, we can still consider it as a positive emotional response, but there's sometimes that these triggers can lead to negative emotional reactions. And how do we like manage the situation? So acknowledge that there is something that is making you to feel this way. When you acknowledge that there's something that is making you to feel this way, listen to your body, because definitely when these kind of emotions are coming, your body will like react in a certain way. It can be like tightness of breath, it can be breathing too fast, it can be like anxiety, it can be like maybe you have sweaty palms, just had to like have sweaty palms. Like definitely your body sometimes can even be shivering, but like your body will react in a way to just tell you that okay, you are responding to something in an intense manner. And another thing is that when you notice this kind of thing, take a moment to step back and gather yourself, gather your thoughts, gather your feelings. And because you cannot push these feelings away, you have to know that they are there. So just take some time and just like help yourself. Okay, this also and so thing is happening now. I need to step back and take a moment for myself, because whether it's from a place, whether it's from a person, whatever it is, like try. I'm not saying withdraw and seclude yourself and forget that you're feeling that way. No, but like try to take a step back. You can be internally in your mind, or it can be physically. Just give yourself some type of space to process that okay, this is what I'm feeling. You've identified, you've listened to your body, now this is what I'm feeling. How do I respond? Then try to trace the root. Where is this thing coming from? Is this just coming from how this person spoke to me? Sometimes it can even be feeling of like you're not compensated enough, like you've always been in a place that you've been unjustly treated. It could be like working with a superior that used to disregard you, and then maybe you're in a familiar situation, or it can even be another situation, and then maybe somebody is talking to you in the way, and they might not even be insinuating that particular thing, but you've already triggered that emotion in you, whether consciously or unconsciously, and then you already feel like, oh, I'm going to be unjustly treated again. So that is a form of trigger. So try to trace the roots. Why am I feeling this way? And sometimes these things can happen as we progress in life, so it is very, very believable that you might not have it couple of months back, and then you just started like seeing the signs like recently. So don't just throw these things away. Try to identify it, because the more you push it away, the more these problems, it's like it gets terrible, and then you start to have different kind of like psychological disorders. So you have to notice what your emotional triggers are, so that you can manage them whenever you find yourself in this situation. And then get curious, either you seek for help or you surround yourself with a support community, something that keeps you accountable to this kind of feelings, or somebody that you know that can listen and can help you to process these feelings faster, because you have to manage it. You have to be able to manage it, because if you don't manage it, it will get out of control. That's just how it is. And then sometimes these emotional triggers can be in this form. We have anxiety triggers. It can be in form of panic, in form of having like being anxious, and you're scared. It can be even in form of fear. These anxiety triggers can be caused by anxiety or stress, and then we can have something like panic attack, because there are feelings of like maybe being unsure of something, or being or feelings of uncertainty. Like these things just play a role, and then you just realize that okay, I'm feeling anxiety. Like this can now trigger anxiety within you. And also we have trauma triggers. This is based on past experiences, things that have happened in the past, and then maybe you did not process very well. It could be the loss of a loved one, and then you're still grieving. Maybe like you did not really address these feelings of loss very well, or feelings of like being helpless in a particular situation. It can even be it can be that maybe an accident happened or something. Like these feelings of okay, well, you were not able to be in control of something that happened, and then the feeling of a loved one. Or it can also be in a relationship. Maybe you felt like so inadequate, and then these things can lead to trauma triggers, and can even cause post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. And then you start to like have PTSD whenever you find yourself. It could be something that is related and something that's unrelated. Maybe in a new relationship, you just have that mindset that okay, because this or that one did not work out, there's just no way you can be adequate enough for another person. And then you start to like have PTSD, maybe in another relationship, or even with a new partner, or even with your friends, or even with your family members. Maybe you grew up in a kind of abusive environment, and then everything about like having a loving and a caring relationship for you is out of the box, or because you cannot just imagine that you can have that kind of relationship because of your abusive past. We also have anger triggers. Imagine being irrationally angry about people or objects, and it will just come. It doesn't even have to be somebody particularly triggering you. You just remember something. It can even be a belief about something, or a consciousness about something, and then you want to just come like you just start like being angry. You'll be angry at yourself, angry at the thing, angry at the person. It can be a lot of things, and then you have this maybe outburst. It can even lead to a physical reaction. It might not just be psychologically, it might also be a physical reaction, and then you're reacting to this thing, and then you're wondering that why am I angry at this thing. So you need to identify these triggers, and then you need to be able to like know how you can manage them. How can you manage these emotional triggers? The first one is acknowledge how you're feeling. You're feeling angry, you're feeling sad, you're feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling excluded, whatever it is. Just acknowledge this feeling that you have. Like know that you need space. To process this feeling. You need space to like allow yourself to breathe, because sometimes it can even be your environment. Like maybe like just the feeling in your head that this place is too stuffy, and then you start to like accelerate this particular emotional trigger that you have. And then be open-minded. Nobody wants to hurt you. Like if you don't be too judgmental that okay, this person wants to do this thing to you, this person wants to harm you in a particular way, or this person does not care about how you're feeling. Like just know that everybody is also dealing with their own. It can even be an emotional reaction of what they also might be passing through. That is what made them to react like that, to maybe like hurt your feelings, or just like provoke this emotional trigger that you have. So be openly minded, and just like try to talk it out with them. Understand? Try to talk it out with this other person, please. Instead of saying that why did you do this kind of thing to me, just explain that I feel frustrated when you do this and this and this. So the person knows that okay, it's because of this reaction. When you're just like, so why did you do this? The person is thinking that oh, this person has already judged me. Do you understand? So you have to like express yourself, be able to communicate better whenever you're feeling this trigger, so that people around you that are considerate, they can also like know the best way to communicate with you when found in a similar manner. Use positive actions to treat negative emotions. Let's say you once in a relationship where your feelings or your your emotions were disregarded, and then you find yourself in another relationship, and then because you don't want this kind of thing to like repeat itself again. So instead of like locking up and not discussing your feelings in this new relationship, try to like tell your partner how you feel, communicate with them. You don't even have to express that this is how you used to feel in other relationships. Just tell them that, okay, I do not like it when I do something for you and then you do not appreciate it, or I do not like it maybe when I'm sad and then you do not comfort me. You understand? It's not, why did you not comfort me? Or you saw me this thing, you do not do anything. You know, you're too forward with the way you talk. So I feel frustrated. I feel frustrated when you do so and so to me, because it makes me feel like I'm not heard. It makes me feel like I'm not wanted. It makes me feel like I'm not needed. So you have to be able to, that's why I said how to identify it. Because when you identify it, you trace the root, you say, okay, it's because of my feelings of inadequacy in this past relationship. That's what is making me to react in this manner. Because can you imagine, maybe like your partner came inside the house and then you've tidied up, you've cleaned the house, maybe you even prepared his favorite meal, and then you should just barge into the kitchen and just go and carry snacks and just head into his room. Understand? No acknowledgement, no this thing. Although that behavior is bad, it could be reacting to maybe like stress from work or whatever. You know, at that point you're like, you know, maybe your anger is already coming, or you can even be feeling, oh, I'm not good enough. Do you understand? So these things can trigger our emotions, and then so the best way is that communicate, and then don't just seclude yourself and say, okay, well, I'm just going to use this negative action that I've learned from other people. I'm just going to like use it to cope. No, that's not supposed to be a coping mechanism. You're supposed to bring up positive actions to be able to counter these negative emotions that you're feeling. Create positive memories from positive experiences, because the truth is that when you are hungry, when you're stressed, and then you now have this emotional triggers, you can actually not be able to control yourself in that manner. So try your best to always create positive memories for yourself and positive experiences. Maybe like try to find food, like eat well, take care of yourself, take care of your body, take care of your mind, take care of your soul. Don't be exposed to things that will constantly trigger you, because when they constantly trigger you, you might actually lose the balance between what is supposed to be and what's not supposed to be. So treat yourself well, take care of yourself, take care of your body, take care of your spirit, your mind, everything, and then eat well. Because for me now, something about me that I've noticed, that whenever I'm hungry and then maybe like somebody, you know, is doing something that it makes me feel like I'm not acknowledged, you understand, this kind of things, or making me feel hungry, they are doing some things and it's already becoming toxic in nature. So I tend to like just withdraw, and if I don't withdraw it, like I'm provoked enough, I will just like have this outburst and I'll not be able to control myself. So it's best for us to like notice what these emotional triggers are, so that we can be able to manage them and not like have these feelings of insecurity because of our emotional trigger. If you can, like I mentioned in the last video, try to like do meditation or yoga, something that just helps to just make your mind to always present, because that's one thing I know about meditation. It makes you to be aware of your environment, it makes you to acknowledge your environment, and helps you to be able to process the feelings that you have when you are currently in your environment, and also be able to recognize toxic relationships. Some kind of relationship do not actually help you in the long run. You're in a relationship that mutual respect is not given and consideration is lacking. Just know that in that kind of relationship, to be an emotional trigger for you, it can trigger anger and it can trigger sadness for you, and it's better to like leave this kind of toxic relationships, or you and your partner can walk your way through, you and your friends can walk your way through, and be able to like make the relationship better. And if you can, have journals and just journal your thoughts, because journaling actually helps you to be able to acknowledge these things that you're feeling and put it in words. Because sometimes when you're reacting to some emotions, you don't really know how to trace that, okay, this is why I'm feeling these things. But when you start to write about it, you'll be able to start connecting the dots, and they know that, okay, this thing can lead to this. And sometimes you don't even know where the root cause of these things are from. So because some triggers can be genetic in nature, so it's better for you to like start documenting, because when you're documenting it, you're recognizing whenever there's disrespect, whenever there's feelings of inadequacy, or maybe like you're not acknowledged, your presence is not noticed in the place. These kind of things, when you can reflect more, when you can write about it, you'll be able to know that okay, these are the things that trigger me emotionally, and you'll be able to like either leave gatherings that do not help you in this manner, or communicate better with people that are involved in this, because it's not every place that you can live. So communicate better in that kind of scenario to help you to process your emotions better. And sometimes if you cannot leave a garden, sometimes you can also do meditation, or you can practice deep breathing, breathe out for like 5 times, deep breath. It can actually help to like calm you down and help you to process your emotions better, so that you can communicate with whoever is involved and you can have a positive outcome. So if you've loved this video, please make sure you hit the subscribe button, like, leave a comment for me, and I'll definitely check it out. Bye guys, I love you. How can